Hello friends, and welcome to today's video. Today's video is built off of a suggestion of somebody in the comments from last week. They asked to do a video about products for dry skin, and I thought, okay, I don't have any special knowledge about that. I don't have super dry skin, but it is such a dry time of year. And then I started thinking about all the things that I'm doing, not necessarily for my face, but for the rest of my body, for my hair, for my environment, because of how cold and dry everything is. So I thought I would sit down and share some of those with you. You know, nothing groundbreaking here, but maybe there'll be a tip or two that helps you out. So as I was mentioning, it has been really cold in Ottawa, and the cold will dry you out if you're out walking in it. And then also the heat running in your house is going to dry everything out. For me, the hardest thing is my lips and my feet. I tend to get stuffed up in the winter, so when I sleep, I will be breathing through my mouth a lot, so I'm constantly having dry lips. And I think just genetically, because my mom has the same thing, I have terribly dry feet that just seem to get worse in the winter. Talking a little bit about your environment first, I don't have a humidifier. That would probably help out in my place, but I just don't, and I'm not willing to make that investment at this point. But my place does get cold, and my place does run the heat a lot. I rent a little one-bedroom condo, and I am on a corner, although I don't have the benefits of a corner unit because I don't have windows on one of my sides, but in any case, it's a corner unit. So I have two exposed walls in that way, which makes things a little bit cooler. But I'm also just above sort of the entrance to the building. So there's actually outside air underneath a portion of my place as well. So it does cool down quickly on cold days, which means the heat runs a little more often. All of that saying, it gets dry in here. A tip for you, if you do have a place that's a little bit more dry, you're trying to get moisture and humidity into the air. So I take really hot showers. I don't let the hot water onto my hair or onto my face, but I will let boiling hot water hit my body to warm me up. And what I will do is in the winter, I won't run the fan, and I'll leave the door to the bathroom open so that the humidity from the shower running can get out into my place a little bit more. In the mornings when I make coffee, I will often have a kettle going and then pour boiling hot water into a bodum to make coffee. So what I will do is, boil the water, pour that into the coffee maker, and then with the water that's left in there, I'll let it sit and boil for a while longer on the stove with that steam being let out into the air. Just little ways to let, humidity and steam and things into your living space a little bit more. I don't know how much of a difference it makes, but every little bit maybe helps. So those are a couple of things that I do. Generally, for everything I'm trying to keep moisturized on my body, it is a combination, other than my face, of exfoliation and then moisturization. So the face is a little bit different because I'm always very gentle with exfoliation there. But with my body in the shower, what I will do is use something that's not super scratchy but has a little bit of exfoliation to it. So in our Boxy Luxe box, we received a Spongel. It's a little sponge with body wash in it. That's been really nice to use because it does exfoliate a bit as I'm running it over my arms, shoulders, chest, body, all that kind of thing. And that sort of helps take away a little bit of the dry skin that's there. It's a gentle exfoliation, but I tend to do that every day when I'm in the shower. And then when I get out of the shower, one of the first things that I will do is put moisturizer everywhere. I'm not picky when it comes to moisturizer. This is the one I'm working through right now because it's inexpensive and it's the value size. You get a lot of it. But this is the Vaseline Intensive Care Cocoa Radiant with pure cocoa butter. Heals dry skin with moisture to reveal its natural glow. It's on the richer end of the moisturizers, and I do like that. But I've also used Body Shop Body Butter that has been given to me as a gift. That one I have to make sure that the scent isn't too strong. I'm not bothered by it, but it can be overwhelming if you're using a lot of it. Or just any other moisturizer that I've received in a subscription box or received as a gift. I'm not picky about it, but I moisturize, put moisturizer on all over my body right after I dry myself off. And I found, you know, I really focus on my elbows because those tend to get dry. Also my chest, my shoulders. Not only have I found that areas that tend to get dry, like my elbows, when I do this are softer, but other areas of my body don't necessarily get flaky dry skin, but maybe get sort of more texture, smooth out quite a lot when I am constantly in my routine of exfoliating in the shower and then moisturizing when I get out of it. Now, for me, extra care needs to be paid to my feet. So one of the last things that I will do in the shower, and admittedly I don't do this every day, although it would probably be good if I did, but you know, once a week, a couple times a week, I just have this very inexpensive pumice stone that I keep in the shower, and I'll do it as one of the very last things that I do in the shower, because then my feet have been having the warm and hot water running over them the whole time, and it really softens up the skin on my feet so that I can do some exfoliation. Then when I get out of the shower, after I do all my body moisturization, I've been using this O'Keeffe's for Healthy Feet foot cream, guaranteed relief for dry feet that crack and split. I'll put this all over, focusing on my heels because that's where my feet tend to get dry. And then I will take a pair of cotton socks and put them on right away. The cotton socks are sort of natural feel, they're natural, but also they retain your body heat in a little bit, and after putting on a moisturizer, if you have a little bit more heat, it will help it sink in a little bit more. I don't tend to shower right before bed. I'm also not somebody who can wear socks to bed, but if you are somebody who can, it's also good to put this on right before bed, pop on a pair of cotton socks, and that will help your feet get nice and smooth. For my lips, I also try to exfoliate and then keep good moisturizing products on there. You don't need a lip scrub, you know, that you go out and buy at some cosmetic store or something like that. I do have some lip scrubs. They are nice to use. But if you don't have a lip scrub to use, you know, just when you're brushing your teeth, I have a little sort of Oral-B electric toothbrush kind of thing, so it spins a lot on its own. But even with a regular toothbrush, after you finish brushing your teeth, you know, rinse off your toothbrush, just scrub your toothbrush along your lips a little bit, and it will do some nice natural, it'll exfoliate your lips. And then as soon as I finish doing that, I put on a lip balm, lip gloss, something that is going to moisturize my lips now that I've taken away the dead skin. So, you know, it's always nice to think about doing that right after you're brushing your teeth, because then it becomes part of your routine. And for me, I kind of need things to be built into my routine. As far as the skin on your face, we all have different needs for our skin depending on if our skin is dry or is oily or is normal. Mine is sort of normal combination, so I don't have the driest of dry skin. So my routine doesn't vary a whole lot in the winter, but what I would suggest if you are somebody who has normal or oily skin or dry skin, like, you need to moisturize twice a day, morning and night, and just find one that works for your skin. I have seen sometimes people who have oily skin skip moisturizing because they think it's going to make their skin oilier. But in fact, if you put a lot of moisture into your skin, for some folks that will stop their oils being produced as much, because your skin won't feel the need to overproduce oils to compensate for not having moisture in your skin. Another suggestion I would make if you are somebody with drier skin in the wintertime and you are not using a oil cleanser, that is really wonderful to use because it doesn't strip any of the natural oils out of your skin. It's going to keep your skin nice and hydrated. If you're not so much into an oil cleanser, just use the gentlest cleanser you can. You do not want your face to feel tight after you clean it. I use a Neutrogena gentle cleansing wash when I'm not using an oil cleanser, and my skin never gets that tight, dry feeling. That's what you want to avoid. The last thing I will say about dry winter weather is it can be very hard on your hair. So I have found in the winter, and in talking to my hairstylist like last week about this, she says it's incredibly common. I really like to put my hair up in a bun, just get everything out of the way, especially when I'm doing work. And I was doing that with regular elastics, and I just found I was getting a ton of breakage in my hair. It was all sort of breaking off around here. I was finding, like, I can probably even show you little bits of it there that are broken off. And the dry weather really exacerbates that because, you know, your hair's a little more brittle, it's a little more dry, and then if you're putting pressure on it with an elastic band that's pulled tight, it's more likely to split. So what I have done is bring the 80s back a little bit. I went out and bought myself a set of scrunchies. These ones are kind of velvet wrapped. I think it's better if you can find ones that are wrapped in a like silky kind of fabric. You know, it still puts pressure on your hair, but it spreads the pressure out a little bit so that it doesn't sort of snap off right where the elastic is cutting in on it. What my hairdresser recommended, and unfortunately I didn't get a chance to buy one, they didn't have any in the shop that day because they sell out super quick. She said what works amazingly well is these sort of spiraled hair ties, and they don't specifically push in on your hair, so they don't cause breakage. And that is really what I'm trying to avoid in the winter weather. I'm really great at keeping my hair conditioned and everything, but I'm just trying to avoid stressing it too much at a time when it's more likely to be brittle and dry. So those are my winter dry weather tips for keeping things happy and moisturized and not freaking out from the cold weather tips. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you do, please consider giving it a thumbs up. I do not have the driest of dry skin, so I'm sure those of you out there who do have some great tips for how to keep yourself and your environment moisturized in the winter or full of moisture in the winter. Leave those down below. I do try to respond to every comment that I get. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.